I was very thankful to find this picture of this beautiful angel right here. And to be honest, now that I got to see the picture, let me back it up just for a second. Now that I got to see that baby's picture, like it really sits a lot better in my heart that we can actually pay tribute and homage to this beautiful soul. How we even get here, I know I'm going to say some things that might not sit well with people's sensibilities, but just understand that I have a method to this and I'm saying it for a reason in hopes of curving this behavior so our children won't have to go through crap like this. Let me give you a disclaimer. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. All right, let me go ahead and get these pictures back up on the screen for you guys. Now, if you read the title and you look at this face right here where it says evil grandmother, I'm not calling her evil. I'm referring to her as evil because of what someone else who knows her called her. And there was a man that is pretty familiar with her that said that she's probably one of the most evil women he's ever met. And I guess I'm not really shocked by that because if you look at this woman and it looks like her hairline looks like it's trying to run away from the rest of her forehead. Let me go back here. Like you can see like where that white line is going off the top of her head, like way back here, like if she was in the army, she'd have to salute like this. Yes, sir. Right? Way back there. Like way back there, like if you had the nosebleed seats, if you was at the basketball game. That woman hairline is way back here. And I'm just saying, like, when you look this bad, when you're that freaking wide, and that's a pretty big room, and it looks like she takes up at least about, maybe a third of that big old huge room. That is a big, unattractive woman. And I'm not just being mean to be being mean. I'm getting this from Greensboro.com, so thank you for the article. Not for the commentary, but for the article. But this woman, and the reason why I dog her looks, first of all, I don't know why people come in my comment section and they defend these people. And I tell you, I'm like, hey, you do know that this person killed a child, right? And they'd be like, well, you didn't have to talk about how ugly she looks. And I'm just like, who gives a crap? She killed a child. And I want y'all to take a look at this baby. I want y'all to take a look at this baby's face. And also, let me give a shout out to my friend before I forget, Illicit Deeds. Thank you for sending me this story so early. Shout out to Illicit Deeds. And you look at this baby's face and you ask yourself, what could this baby have done so wrong to deserve a demise like this? When you hear the extent of her injuries, you're not going to feel bad that I talked about this woman who literally looks like she could kill a fish with her eyeballs just from looking at people like that. This woman is the true epitome of evil. Let me tell you what they said about her. A local woman is accused of assaulting her granddaughter. This ain't her kid. Her granddaughter. So you'd have to wonder, where was the biological mother at? So violently that the child would not see her third birthday, which would have been this Sunday. The beautiful black queen, sorry, my pro-black people out there. The beautiful black queens, her name is Ruby Charlotte Lett Thomas. It's spelled CharlotteLette. They gave her a stupid middle name too. They said she turned 59 years old. This woman literally looks like she's, I would have put her at like, 70? At least 70. She showed little to no emotion when appearing in court Thursday afternoon by way of a video link from the Guilford County Detention Center. She was jailed with no bond, and you will not disagree with that when y'all hear the details. She's gotten charged with first-degree murder and felony child abuse in connection with the child's death on April the 1st, according to Greensboro police. An arrest warrant was issued April 18th. April 18th for Thomas identifies the child as, I think her name, the baby's name is Sade Wilhite, because it's spelled like shade, Shade, but I think, if I know black people like I think I do, I think it's Sade. I don't think it's Shade. I think the baby's name is Sade Janelle Wilhite, right there. Beautiful angel. They detail her extensive injuries, which include, brace yourself, bleeding on the brain, around her spinal cord, and on the inside of her eyes. She also had rib fractures, injuries to her face. There were injuries to her back, lacerations in her mouth, and an abrasion on the back left leg, and more than 50 contusions. I'm going to read through this baby's injuries one more time. Her injuries included bleeding on the brain, around her spinal cord, and on the inside of her eyes, rib fractures, bruised intestines, which I skipped that part, hemorrhaging to the scalp, I missed that also, skull, around the ribs and back, injuries to her face, lacerations to her mouth, and an abrasion on her back leg, and more than 50 contusions. That's the part that I want people to play back. And when you leave your comments in the comment section, if you say anything about me talking about this idiot's looks, then I want you to tell me what this baby, who didn't even get a chance to see her third birthday, who couldn't speak for herself nor defend herself against the tyranny of grandma, her beastly looking grandmother, tell me what that child did to deserve that. How do you justify that? How do you justify going to that extent? There's nothing a baby could have done for you to literally like beat this child up like Floyd Mayweather in a punching bag or something. It's flat out ridiculous. Chief Assistant District Attorney Chris Paris said in court on Thursday that the girl's 5-year-old brother told investigators his sister had thrown up in the bed that they shared. That's pretty common. Babies need to eat, sleep, go to the bathroom. They're going to cry. They're going to have bowel accidents. That whomever is caring for these children, like I feel like I'm like I feel like I'm saying that like that's not common knowledge. I'm sure most of all of us already know that, but it's like people will have these children either babysitting them or have them in their custody, and they act like they don't know that these are basic things that you'll have to do in order to take care of a baby. And I'm gonna try my best not to cuss, because y'all know I want to cuss so bad. Because I'm so pissed off about this story. Like, that is such the most common thing. There's certain things that you know you're going to have to do when you have a baby. Period. This is a terrible woman. Matter of fact, it kind of makes me think back to slavery times. And let me explain what I mean. We speak about slavery as if it was a bad thing. It was a bad thing, right? And if it's so bad, then why is it that the people who come from the lineage of slavery, who said it was so freaking bad, that the white man done this, done that to us, and then put us through all of this stuff, and then we turn around and we inflict that same hate, same violence, same ignorance on our babies. And this is 2020 fucking 3. Not the 1820s. This ain't the 1600s. sorry. I don't get it. This baby had to die because she threw up. It's a baby. Babies throw up. Last time I checked. He also told, the little brother also told them about something he had said happened hours earlier. And this is why I love the innocence of children. This is a 5-year-old baby saying this. Check this out. He said, Grandma pushed her down the stairs. This is a 2-year-old baby. Matter of fact, let me throw it out there like this. Guess what she would have grown up to become if she would have made it into her adulthood? This baby would have been a black woman. So if we're always talking about the disrespect of black people and black women, then why is it that I see this many black women that I can continue to put on my screen that treat little girls like shit? That treat them like they're nothing. But we get mad when other people might say things about us or might view us in a certain way or might stereotype us, which doesn't physically do anything to us. But we can treat our kids like you can't even legally treat a dog like that. You could go to jail for a bunch of years if you treated an animal like this. Let alone a mini baby black queen. This woman pushed this child down the stairs. The boy told investigators that his sister had been touching the outside of an aquarium and got a whooping, a spanking, whatever you want to call it, for messing with the fish tank. He was not punished, he told investigators, because he was being good that day. The 5-year-old boy has been removed from the home and placed in state custody, detectives said after Thursday's court proceedings. Let me say that again. The 5-year-old boy was removed from the home and placed in state custody. What does that mean? For all my people who've watched my channel long enough, what exactly does that mean? And I'm sorry for the foul language, y'all. I'm sorry. I could not be face to face with this woman. I'd be in jail. If I was the biological parents, I'd be in jail. Oh, that's right. Where the hell are the biological parents? Huh? Thank you, Robbie. Where are the biological parents? So they said they removed the child from the home and placed the child, according to Greensboro.com, in state custody. How can that happen if you have a biological mother and biological father? Where the hell are they at? Where's the biological dad? Are there two different dads? That would have maybe given you two different opportunities. In the black community, we tend to have a lot of children outside of wedlock, and we tend to have a lot of children when it comes to our sisters with more than one man. So just based on the numbers, based on the likelihood, I'm going to assume that these children had two different fathers. So that would have given you at least 3 parents that could have took custody of this child. So where were they? Did they lose custody? And if they lost custody and custody was passed to the grandmother, the next of kin, which is usually what you want to do in the system when bad things happen like that, then you'd have to ask, who really failed this child? Who really failed this child? It was the biological mother and biological father's responsibility to take care of this baby, that it never ended up in her possession. The reason why I talked about how unattractive she is because this woman is probably lonely. This woman knows that nobody desires her because she ain't never took care of herself. Like, she just looks like she smells bad. Like she looks like she smells like an old can of peas that's gone bad. Like if you ever just took like a potato and just set it out on the counter and let it rot. Like she looked like she'd smell like that if you left it out for like, I don't know, maybe 8 months. She just looked like she smells bad. But you'd have to ask, like that, like there has to be hate in your heart. Like nobody probably likes this woman at all, and she turned around and took that out on these children. Just because she felt like she could. The infallible mentality. And that's the problem when you don't hold people accountable, especially when it comes to women. Not after woman bashing. We're just saying in general, not all. But when you don't hold women accountable, they grow up with this mentality that they think that nothing they do is wrong until a child ends up dead. As long as the child ain't dead, they don't go to jail, they don't get reprimanded, they don't get investigated, nothing happens. Let's keep going. So the little boy is in state custody now. When asked about the children's parents, detectives said that the parents were not active in the children's lives. The biological parents are not active in the children's lives. These children were doomed. Here's the more messed up part. We have all of these different methods for contraceptives that you don't have to have children. But since we're just beings that absolutely have to be having unprotected sex out here, raw sex out here, catching diseases and all kind of other stupid crap, that we act like we don't know any better. We have day after pills, we got condoms, we got Nuva rings and shots, depot shots, and all kind of stuff. So you could have figured that out after you already had the little boy, but you turn around in 24 months and had yet another kid. Why? When you clearly weren't prepared to take care of the first, but you get to have a second. Can we get a hashtag TTO and TTT in the building, please? This is why I believe that you should have to have a license to produce children. The same way that you have to have a license to ride a motorcycle or ride a car, you should have to have a license and qualify to be a parent. The basics. Greensboro Police Department spokesperson Josie Camberry said that there is no record of any other child abuse calls at the address, and police have not previously charged Thomas with neglect or child abuse. So nobody could be immediately reached by telephone at Child Protective Services. They're not going to say nothing anyway, so it don't even matter. At about 7 a.m. April 1st, officers responded to a medical-related call at the home in the 400 block of O'Farrell Street and found a 2-year-old girl suffering from apparent cardiac arrest, according to police. Life-saving efforts were started at the scene, but the child was declared dead upon arrival at a local hospital. A man who placed a 911 call that morning said he went to wake up his grandkids and a baby girl did not wake up. She's cold, he told a dispatcher. The dispatch provided CPR instructions until paramedics arrived. Medical staff and detectives noted signs of potential child abuse, and the police department's Family Victims Unit began their investigation. Through the investigation, detectives confirmed the child suffered from non-accidental trauma while in the care of grandma. A GoFundMe page was put up. Let's talk about the GoFundMe. I hope you guys can see that. I think that's a $5,000 GoFundMe. I think it's raised some more money since then, so it's a little bit more than $900 right now. But actually, let me bring up a bigger version so y'all can see this. Give me just a second. If you guys are watching, do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up and share this video. That's not the right one. Why did I bring this one out? That is not the right one. This is the right one. Right here. So, top right corner, they had a $5,000 goal. I think they've raised a little more than $1,000 now, I think. But Shantae Brown is the organizer on behalf of Mary Green. Here's why I'm concerned. The police said that the parents, plural, parents, are not active in either of these children's lives. So one would have to ask, if the grandmother, who seemed like she had custody, I guess, if they had to remove the other child, so it sounded like she had custody, who is Mary Green? Who is Mary Green? Is that the mom? Is that the biological mom? I don't know. But this $5,000 GoFundMe is going to a person by the name of Mary Green, whoever that is. But how much sense would that make if that was the biological mother? I don't know it for a fact. I'm just guessing because they didn't specify. How much sense would that make if even the mother wasn't active in this child's life and they're going to turn around and give her $5,000 because her child got killed? So you're going to pay her for bad mothering, bad behavior? For not being an active parent? How does that make any sense? Matter of fact, in most states, the state will pick up the bill when there is a murder investigation, especially when it comes to children, underage children. Not in every state, not in every county, but I think in most places, they'll pick up the bill, especially for the funeral. So why would they need a GoFundMe here and be giving it to this person who was not a caretaker of the children? Just don't make any sense to me. Let me give you guys the fair use. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying too much. They're saying that, oh my God. They're saying that there were 3 siblings. The GoFundMe page said that the little girl had 3 siblings. 4 kids. And no, they did not state what the relationship is. That makes absolutely no sense. 4 kids. No active parents. The mysterious Mary Green. That is so weird. Thomas will be appointed a public defender and will remain in jail without bond. No bond. Prosecutors asked that Thomas not be allowed to contact, direct or indirect, with any of the girl's siblings or custodians of the children or Thomas's 17-year-old daughter. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. When you guys get a moment, if you would, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up to this video. It'll share, let more people see it. So if you're looking at the number of people who are watching right now, we want to have at least 1 thumb up for everybody watching this video right now. So please, please hit that thumbs up. I want y'all to hear from this man right here. Let's get it.
Now, first tonight, a woman has been charged with the murder of her 2-year-old granddaughter. She was in court just hours ago.
WFMY News 2's Amber Lake was in the courtroom and joins us live now with this alarming, detailed story. Amber.
In court just a few hours ago, we learned the toddler has a 5-year-old brother who also lives in that home. He told police their grandmother pushed 2-year-old Sade Wilhite down the stairs because she was messing with the aquarium. The toddler went to the hospital where she later died.
She's not breathing. It's very cold.
911 calls came in after the toddler was found unresponsive in her home on O'Farrell Street. The 2-year-old's grandmother, 59-year-old Ruby Thomas, made her first court appearance today. Police charged Thomas with first-degree murder and intentional child abuse causing serious bodily injury. An investigation started on April 1st when officers got a call to the home. Investigators said the girl's 5-year-old brother told officers that his sister was throwing up in their bed. During the investigation, detectives determined she had been abused. Investigators said the girl's brother also suffered abuse in the home. Nikki Jenkins is the Child Abuse Prevention Coordinator with Family Services of the Piedmont. She says when they hear of situations like this, it's frustrating, but pushes them to work harder at bringing awareness to child abuse.
to get into some, even preschools, you know, talking to them about doing body checks on the kids that they see when they come in the mornings, and just reminding people of how important their roles are as caregivers and when you're working with children, and remind everyone that we're all mandated reporters.
Now, Ruby Thomas remains in jail without bond today. She was assigned a public defender and capital murder defender, which is typical when the death penalty is on the table.
So how in the world can anyone kill a 2-year-old child? It's beat to death.
Well, that was one of the victim's grandfathers. He told us he's just heartbroken and angry. The person trusted to care for the child is now accused of taking her life. A warning, the details you're about to hear are disturbing and painful. In this story out of Greensboro, they are what the 2-year-old's brother shared with investigators.
And he indicated that his sister had been touching the outside of an aquarium where they keep fish in. And at that point, it had angered Miss Thomas. And at that point is when she had pushed this little girl down the stairs. He stated that she, being his sister, got a big whooping because that she had been messing with that fish tank. And when he described the whooping, he said his words, she got beat. He said, Grandma beat with a big belt.
Well, you are looking at the grandma there. Her name is Ruby Thomas. She's 58 years old. Guilford County prosecutors also described a fire medicine Thomas reportedly put in the little girl's mouth. The victim's sibling told officers Grandma beat the girl in the past, and at one point he had to cover his ears because of the commotion. Thomas never said a word during her video appearance in court today. At times she shook her head as she sat there in handcuffs. Judge ordered her to have no contact with the siblings of the victim or her 17-year-old daughter. Fox 8's Elijah Skipper spent some time with the 2-year-old's grandfather.
And I'm hoping you guys can hear this audio pretty good. I want y'all to listen because I think they're going to let Grandpa speak again. And I want y'all to listen when this man describes this woman as one of the most evil people he has ever seen. Yeah, that woman is in her middle 50s.
Father, who is just furious, his granddaughter is gone.
The milk has gone bad.
But it's kind of puzzling to me. How can anyone, you're a human being, to do this to a little child?
A grieving.
He said, how can any human being do this to a little child? And I wish I could have enhanced the audio so y'all could hear this better.
His granddaughter is gone.
But it's kind of puzzling to me. How can anyone, you're a human being, to do this to a little child?
A grieving grandfather, puzzled over how a child who loved to smile and seemed so happy could drive someone to kill her.
Never in my life would I have suspected something like that would happen.
Court documents detail the injuries John McCain's granddaughter suffered. Rib fractures, hemorrhaging, and bruises on her body.
Whatever happens to her, whatever they do with her in court is not bad enough.
He said whatever they do to her in court is not bad enough. And I love how poignant he is with what he's saying. I absolutely love that.
It's not bad as mean as how she did the little girl.
Said it's not nearly as bad as what she did to that little girl. That little girl went through hell.
Little girl couldn't take up for herself.
The little girl couldn't take up for herself. Let me back that up because y'all have heard me say this plenty of times. These children can't speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers. Y'all have heard me say that before, right? Listen to what he says.
It's as mean as how she did the little girl. Little girl couldn't take up for herself. She couldn't even run.
The little girl couldn't take up for herself. She couldn't even run.
Do nothing.
He's talking about 58-year-old Ruby Thomas. A Greensboro police spokesman told Fox 8 she was caring for her 2-year-old granddaughter at this home on Farrell Street when officers received a call about a cardiac arrest on April 1st.
I've known her for quite a while now, a few years. She's the meanest woman I've ever seen in my life.
He said he's known this for a while. This woman is the meanest woman he's ever known in his life. Let me let you hear that again.
She was caring for her 2-year-old granddaughter at this home on Farrell Street when officers received a call about a cardiac arrest on April 1st.
I've known her for quite a while now, a few years. She's the meanest woman I've ever seen in my life.
The meanest woman he's ever seen in his life. This woman is evil.
In court Thursday, we learned officers found signs of abuse on the other children in the home. One of them is just 5 years old.
They came here and we looked at them and we took them to the hospital, took the shirts up on them, and there was bruises all over their back.
What pains this grandfather the most
is to know that she was crying and I couldn't get there to help her.
He said the thing that pains him the most is that this baby was crying and he couldn't get there quick enough to save her from the abuse of her grandmother. Isn't that something? That's sad. That is sad. And I totally feel him.
So took the shirts up on them and there was bruises all over their back.
What pains this grandfather the most
is to know that she was crying and I couldn't get there to help her.
In Greensboro, Elijah Skipper.
I pray to God that no one else would ever have to go through this.
Fox 8 News.
Powerful words. And that's spoken like a true grandfather. And I'm so thankful to even hear his words on that. And I'm thankful that, you know, people are starting to speak up for our babies. I have no idea, like, when we became scared to speak out against people who hurt kids. Like, I just thought that that's like a normal thing, to the point where I get confused when people get to threatening me for the things that I say. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm on the kid's side. The babies can't speak for themselves. They can't defend themselves. So why get mad at the person who wants to see these children defended and want to see the people that hurt these babies and murder these babies for no reason? You could see the pain in that man's face. People like this. Life in prison, and for first-degree murder, if they can get her on that, because that would have to prove intent, and I hope that they could get that. I really, really hope that they can get that. Then if they have the ultimate penalty under law, which is the death penalty, I think that would suffice. There's no more reason for her to be existing on this earth for what she did to that angel. And let me get her back up on my screen. Sade Janelle Wilhite. And I hope that's how you pronounce her name. Sade. Yep, I think I got that right, because they put the apostrophe at the E. Sade Janelle Wilhite. Young princess. R.I.P. That is such a beautiful baby, man. If I had 100 more me's, I'd say just give her to me. I'll take care of her. I'll raise her so she can grow up and become something great. And just when you raise children the right way, they're just so grateful. Like, I'm grateful for my parents. Like, you guys are grateful for your parents that allowed you to grow up and become something great. If you guys have a painful story of a grandparent abusing you, speak out against it. Don't be afraid and don't be ashamed to speak out against people who commit abuse against kids. We got to stop this psychological stuff and this generational curse. That's what we got to do. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Thank you.